Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's the end of October and I thought we'd just do a quick look at the garden. We're not really near any time for frost, so everything still is blooming and growing, but there are fewer and fewer buds. So here's just a quick look at the rooftop garden. Cornell came in pretty late, so there's still some blooms coming in here. And then here's Beautiful. I'm going to cut some flowers for a final vase today. There's these weird holes that are just sort of developing on some of the flowers. I don't really know what's causing that, but I guess I'm glad it's coming and happening now rather than earlier in the season. All of my zinnias here are pretty much dead. Have to cut them back soon. And here's Bahama Mama still producing quite a few flowers. I'm cutting all of these later today. And all my purple zinnias here are also at the end. So this is pretty much what the garden looks like end of October, and I'm going to go ahead now and cut some of these and make one final bouquet. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of deadheading, so this one's pretty ready to go. And here's what a bunch of spent dahlias looks like. Okay, so this is what I have so far in terms of the bouquet. I'm not done arranging it yet, but I've got some Beautiful here, some Creighton's Honey, Hula, some Cornell, even got this tiny little Giggles here. And I'm gonna probably just take this Gomprina here and work this into the vase, and then I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I think this is the final product. I think I'm happy with this. Some of the blooms are not the greatest, like this kind of has a blown out center, but it still looks nice. And Beautiful is really looking really good. But this is the last bouquet of the season, I think. So wanted to do a quick close-up of one of my last dahlias to come in. This is Honeydew, and it looks hopefully like I will get at least this one flower maybe in the next week. So I'm excited to see what this looks like. It's the only bud that came up from this plant, which has been growing since May. So it'll be exciting to finally see what this flower looks like. And then this here is Eveline. I am not going to see a flower from this plant, but at least it's still growing and healthy and the tuber isn't rotten. So I will keep this, store it for the winter, and see what happens next year. And here's just an up close look at my last Bahama Mama. This is my very last Juanita. I'm gonna cut this today and make a bouquet. Here's Heather Feather. Heather Feather put out 3 flowers just in the last week. And Daddy's Girl here is still putting out buds. So maybe I'll get some more flowers from this plant. Here's one trying to come in here. And then Beautiful here has one last bud. Hopefully I'll see that flower in the next week. We're not supposed to have temperatures below 40 at least in the next 10 days. So hopefully that's enough time to see more of these flowers. I'll put together another bouquet. Every time I think it's the last bouquet, I have more flowers. So this is probably going to be the last bouquet. I don't really have a lot of buds left. It's pretty windy up here. So thank you for watching and following along this gardening season. I think the next step here is going to be to dig up all of the tubers and clean them off and store them for the winter. But that'll take a couple more weeks as I wait for our first frost. But I'm not sure what the channel will be like over the winter. I'll do some garden planning for the spring, and maybe I'll do a video on how I store my tubers. But I really appreciate everybody watching over the spring and summer, and I hope that you continue to check in every once in a while, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.